When I'm not being properly welcomed to California by enduring an end-of-days rainstorm and an earthquake within the first 2 weeks, I like to answer questions and comments I get on YouTube. Let's get to it. I actually have an idea for a video. I have a MIDI keyboard and an audio interface. I've never set up a home studio before and I have like zero space. How do you set up a studio with like negative space? Alright, now this is a question I can definitely answer because I have set studios up in the tiniest little spots and also when I have like much bigger rooms. I just did a studio tour of this place that I have that Sweetwater helped me set up. So watch that. But as far as like space, the things that you have to understand is there are just certain givens that you need, right? You need some kind of computer, whether it's a laptop, desktop, whatever. Computer, interface, headphones, an instrument. So whether it's, your voice or a microphone or a guitar or a piano or whatever, and monitors, okay? Monitors are probably like the biggest thing that like I just didn't really totally understand when I first started out and why they are so important. So in fact, I want to spend a little time talking about the Kelly IN5s that I got from Sweetwater, okay? This video is sponsored by Sweetwater, and they sent me pretty much everything in the studio actually to kind of help me really recreate the best sound environment, again, minus the soundproofing, which is coming, so don't flame me because I know there's an echo here. I'm gonna fix it, it's coming, I swear to God it will. But I wanted like the smallest, most compact thing to use what, is a smaller space than that I have been using and just get the bare bones, get the best stuff, right? So the space still might be bigger than what you're working with, but monitors are super important, okay? These Kelly IN5s, the reason that I wanted these is because they're three-way monitors, so they're super clear and they're super transparent, but also you can somewhat tune them to your room, okay? So they have dip switches on the back, and depending on what you're working with, you can set the switches so it adds an EQ curve to somewhat correct what you're hearing, because you don't really, it's so hard to really understand how important it is to get accurate playback, otherwise you're gonna be like mixing something. It might sound good on the playback system you're using, and then you go take it in your car and it sounds totally different. And everybody says this, it's like, okay, do the car test and run back and forth and do it. You will save so much time just by getting like a good, accurate set of monitors. And it used to be that these were really expensive, right? But the Kelly IM5s are great because they're $350 each, so you can get them in a pair for $700. And I have not seen anything close to that price range for getting a three-way monitor system with balanced XLR or quarter-inch ins, which is super, super important because I always have the wrong cables. You can kind of either go XLR or quarter-inch in. And it gives you the option to kind of tune your room depending on what it, so when I say like the tuning of the dip switches and stuff, they have settings that like if you have to have it right up back against the wall, it'll sound one way, right? Because like that sound is coming and like coming back, right? If you're a little bit a ways from where they are sitting on the wall, like what mine are right now on these stands, I have about like that much space in between. I can set the EQ curve to that, or if they're farther, I can set it to that. So again, really excited that these have come down in price to the point that you can get like a solid pair of transparent mixing monitors for under $700. So good on Sweetwater, good on Cali for that, right? So after that interface, the two that I have here that I'm still kind of debating between are the Arturia MiniFuse 4, the Universal Audio Volt. I've done videos on both of these that I'll link you to if you want to hear the differences between those. An instrument, like I said, MIDI keyboard is really cool. So this is just 25 key keyboard that Arturia makes, the Mini Lab, right? And you might be like, okay, well it has keys, it has 25 keys, but you could do this just in your DAW or use the keyboard on a laptop to kind of do the same input thing. I've tried this both ways, and you're really gonna want a small MIDI keyboard. I'm actually using the Mini Freak as the main one here. It's got a few more keys, but this is really great. And aside from just being keys, you can actually assign different parameters to it. That's the beautiful thing about MIDI. It's not really just like an instrument, it's just a way to really send instructions to a computer, right? So you can like start and stop playback on these, and just there's like a lot of customization. So you definitely need a keyboard. Headphones are important too. I have since become more of a user of open back headphones for mixing. So you definitely need something like that. But really, monitors, interface, an instrument, and a computer and headphones is all you need. And then just really kind of just get your room sounding right, which again, I sound like a total hypocrite because I haven't done the treatment in this room yet, but it will, it's coming, I promise you it's coming. But yeah, definitely there's affiliate links for all the stuff in the description, so feel free to check it out. And if you have any further questions, I would love to help you out. Looks like the next step up could be starving artist. So I actually like this being the starving artist era instead of the going broke era. If you missed the video a few days ago, I've decided to kind of do like a partial move to Los Angeles, so I got my own place. And yeah, starving artist era is a good way to reframe what's going on here. But honestly, I was really touched by all the comments from that video. 95% of the comments in that video, just being super supportive. So I always read all the comments, and I usually like the salty ones just because they're funnier to me. But for whatever reason, like the outpouring of support I had and people like just really happy for me taking a risk actually was super nice. So thank you to everybody who commented, because it definitely means a lot. So thanks. I quit playing guitar after watching this video. It's quite confusing. Yeah, that's better. That's more like it. Just quit playing guitar. Blame the person who made the video that you watched to make them quit. It was so confusing that you gave up the instrument and had to just fire off a comment letting that person know that because I didn't get it, I'm quitting guitar because of you. It's your fault. The responsibility is you not being able to get through to me, so I'm quitting. Thank you very much. Hey, I think Davi is your neighbor. How is he making out? Sarasota used to be great, but now way too many people are moving there. I think a lot of them are coming from California. Here's the thing about gentlemen of great status. When others zig, what do? We
just zag.
We zag. We're a couple of real zag gentlemen. So here's a relevant, though possibly awkward question. With thousands of people, including Sean Daniel, mind you, uploading videos that teach me how to do things to YouTube that I can watch for free, why do I need to pay Skillshare for the same service? Yeah, so that video the other day was sponsored by Skillshare. You could say the same thing about like joining like my Patreon, right? There's so much good information on YouTube or just other free platforms. Why would you want to pay something extra? I think the main reason, some people will be like, oh, well, the quality's better. I don't believe it is. I think that on YouTube, the highest quality stuff you could ever want to see is available on YouTube, right? When it comes to the benefits of like either my Patreon or Skillshare or something like that, it's you get sequential ordered stuff, right? As someone who's been teaching professionally for like 20 years now, it's so, like what I really try to do on the Patreon, when people try to do in like courses, whether Udemy courses, Skillshare courses and stuff, is do it in a progressive, sequential way where it's like, okay, I have an idea, I want to relate and teach, and then it's going to lead into the next video and lead into the next video. And I do believe long-term that's a better way to just get ideas across, right? Now, why that can't happen on YouTube is because YouTube just doesn't serve you things in sequential order, right? Well, creators' main gripe is that like, if I were to be like, oh, cool, I'm going to teach everything I know on guitar over the course of 300 lessons. If I titled a video, lesson number 150, advanced major 7 arpeggio shapes, YouTube would bury that video. They would bury it and you would never ever see it just because it wouldn't have like the click-through rate of something with like a more attractive title. So that's really the hardest thing from my point of view being a creator is walking that razor's edge between coming up with like a clickbait title and then calling it like what it really is. Because some of these lessons, like I have a very clear idea that I would like to articulate, but the title isn't something that YouTube would like, right? And the way that's determined is click-through rate, the percentage of times that somebody clicks on it when it's shown. Because like if you haven't seen lesson 145, you're not going to click through to lesson 146 or later, right? So as you go farther through like a series of videos, the click-through rate is going to go down, which is fine if you build an audience and you serve it to them, like that's fine, but that's just not how it works, right? So the cool thing about maybe like paywalled courses and stuff, usually they happen in order. They should be happening in order. But and then that could be like maybe like a more complete way of learning like a new skill or something like that. But if you're really good at kind of just like taking little pieces from stuff and putting it together yourself, then yeah, YouTube is totally the way. You can probably learn how to do really anything in the world just on like YouTube videos for free. But I have found that there's like a lot of merit in and kind of going through a course one at a time. Because most of the time as a learner, you're not going to know what questions to ask, right? But as a teacher, I'm going to know what questions I should know what questions that you have at certain times, and what learning something does will open up questions to something else. And being able to anticipate that is something that is like really an underrated skill from a teaching standpoint, and something that I know I got better at as I kind of like went through years just like teaching privately and stuff like that. So that's just my shtick on why you might want to, you know, do that Skillshare link or Patreon or whatever, some other creators thing, because it's hard to just find exactly what you're looking for all the time through search. Like I said, all humbucker guitars in your hands sound so warm. After your last video, I got a bit of a chuckle out of the attempts to deal with the box that is the size of your living room. Also, can you do a lesson on the picking pattern that you used on the song? Yeah, sure, I can do a quick lesson on kind of that picking pattern for the... that song Overboard that I did when I demoed the D'Angelico tour guitar, mini DC tour here. And really it's just kind of like... One of my favorite styles, what has become almost like my main style now, is this kind of Travis picked style. Okay, so I've got more videos than just Travis picking, but in general, the key here, and you can do this on anyway, let's take a D minor chord right here. So 5A, 7, 7, D and G, 6B, right? Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go A string, D string. So A, D and B together, so thumb, thumb, right? That's the first part. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, this is gonna be one bar of a finger picking pattern. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. And the trick is to do this while also karate judo chopping the bridge so it's palm muted, okay? And that's basically the whole thing, and it sounds great with any chord. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. A, D, and B, E, G, D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so your thumb is going A, D, E, D, A, D, E, D, A. So you're getting the root note, the fifth, the lower fifth, and the fifth again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in between you're getting 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, I can mute it more aggressively. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So see that 1, 2 count is D and B. 1, 2, 3 is the E string. The and of 3 is up on that G string right there. And then the 4 is a D string. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Second time around, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so right there, it's just really adding the and of 3 and the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. It's the same thing, but now we're just kind of adding a little more at the end. Okay, and that's really the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. And again, that's on an F major 7 chord. To D minor. And then we can change chords. B flat, D minor, C, B flat. And what I did right there, you notice instead of going A, D, E, D, I'm just staying A to the A and D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. What I've noticed is if you always go A to D, it has, you know, it has a cool sound, but sometimes it can sound a little too like doop, 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 doop. So sometimes I'll go E, D, E, D, or sometimes we'll go E, D, A, D. But, you know, it's that kind of picking is really like my absolute favorite thing to do. Alright, for listening home this week, I'm going to throw you to a super chill band called Florist. Just great vibes all around. Check it out. Really cool. It was actually the music I was listening to when I was assembling this Gator desk that I got from Sweetwater. So that was a very calming thing to do because I always screw things up when I'm putting it together. No matter how easy they make it for me. But yeah, thanks again to Sweetwater and Kelly for sending the monitors over. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Instagram or the website. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.